Hey guys, welcome back. So this is going to be delving into the array formula and how it works. If you want to go over the general concept of arrays, that's probably a good place to start. I've got another video just going over the concept of arrays. Feel free to check that out and then jump back here to dive into the formula. So what we're going to do is just kind of go inside out and go through all the different formulas that we have within this array formula. So the first formula that we are going to look at here is we have a if statement. Now this is our actual evaluation of the formula. So it's kind of similar to the if statement that we had in column E. Slightly different, but what it's doing is it's saying if our array, so our B column here, valid or invalid, yes or no, equals yes, value of true, it's going to return that row -3. Now the -3 is important because we want to start at the first row essentially. So if we had this starting at 10, then we would be doing -9 so that it was the first row. There are a couple of different ways you can do this. But this is probably the simplest and easiest, and so this is the way that I will go through this. If not, it is going to just return a blank. So you'll see why that's important in a little bit here. Well, actually, we could go over it now. So the blanks are going to be this same blank. Blanks are going to be essentially filtered out because anything blank's not going to be relevant. Then we have the small formula. So the small formula is going to be determining what position in the array that it is going to look up. So we have the result of our if statement feeding into this small formula. So it's either going to be displaying all of the values that have yes, all the rows in the array that have yes, or it's going to be showing blanks. And then it's going to, using the small formula, go to the row relative to the row number that it is calculating relative to where we have it. Now the important thing to note is, like I said, you can get around doing that -3. You can move this and do it that way, but we're just going to keep it simple and focus on what we have here. So the row formula is going to calculate the row of a cell. So right now we have F1. So it will return a row value of 1. So in the end, we will have the if formula giving us the list of yeses and blanks, and then the row formula right now returning a value of 1. Now the important thing of the row formula, this is going to be what changes the return as we go down or drag our formula down. You can see that it's not locked in, so as we drag it down, this is actually going to go down with our formula. So as an example, if I jump down, this is now row F2, returning 2 for the row, giving us the second value in our array formula. So hopefully that's hugely important, makes sense to you. We're on the home stretch now. Then we're just using an index to look up the column C here, and then it's going to give you the row number based on what we just went through. So determining the row number, kind of similar to an index and match. If you haven't seen that video, feel free to check that out. It's doing the exact same thing, just much more complicated. And then it is giving us the value that we want returned. The last formula is just the if error. Not super necessary, but makes things a little bit cleaner. If we didn't have the if error, it would give us a lot of value errors. And using this, we just have a nice clean look so that when we don't return values, it just gives us a blank. The last and most important thing with an array function is when you are finished. Most of the time you just hit enter. That's what we're used to. That's what we do. With array formulas, you do need to do something different. You need to hold down Control, Shift, and Enter. That will give us these little brackets around the whole formula. That defines it as an array formula and makes it a little bit simpler. If we just hit enter and drag it up and down, you can see that it returns a value, but then it gets messy quickly. Why that works, that's a much longer conversation, but when you're using array formulas, Control-Shift-Enter gives you the brackets, then you can drag it down and make that nice simple. Hopefully that helps you guys out. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments below. Check out my other videos for more helpful tips and tricks and walking through some of the formulas, and have a good day building your array functions.